Howdy folks, I'm a slithery sea serpent, serenely swimming sideways.
I'm Amber.
And here's some more sea serpents to slither sideways. And that's courtesy of Amber. She wanted sea serpents, and that's what we're gonna do today. Everything is sea serpent based.
Yeah, I hate to spoil it, but I don't think we have any sea serpents in our stories today.
And also, if you are interested in sticking around to the end of the video, there's more information on our live stream tomorrow. So stick around. Alright folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Walking Out on a Date That I Didn't Know That I Was On? I'm a 39-year-old male, and my relationship of 11 years with my ex ended 3 and a little bit years ago. I decided then that was the last relationship for me, and I didn't want a relationship. Life isn't all that bad. For some reason though, people have started to get a bit weird about it, especially my colleagues, and mainly women. I can't work that one out, and dudes that I know are a lot more chill about it usually, who think they know better than me. Tell me that I don't want to get lonely, and I'm a great catch, and I have a lot to offer. I had a discussion like that a couple weeks ago at work, particularly with one colleague, S, a 30-year-old female, who talks about it a lot, and I don't know why, because she's married. S is leaving, and because we're friends, I was going to meet her on Monday for a coffee and meal. So I turned up, and she wasn't there, so I texted her. As I do, and I think that I'm waiting, and I see an old colleague, A, who both me and S used to work with in our jobs. So I say hi to A, and I make some small talk for a bit, and I say something like, I wonder where S is. A goes, I don't know what you mean. I thought this was a date between the two of us. I then put 2 and 2 together and realized that S set me up on a date without me realizing it, and A thinking that I know that I'm on a date. So I basically say, A, sorry, but I'm leaving. Sorry S wasted her time, and I go. I then ring S, and she doesn't answer, so I send her a really angry text. Later, I get a call from her asking what happened, and I told her. She ignored all of my anger and went, so you walked out on A? What in the world? That's not cool of you. You should have at least stayed. I ignored her and I hung up. So I go into work the next day, and everyone knows already, because S has already told them, and they say that I shouldn't have been mad because S was doing me a favor. One colleague in particular said that he would have loved to go on a date with someone as hot as A. Presumably, he's seen a picture of them. I then get a DIY therapy advice that I'm wasting my life, I shouldn't be so lonely, I need therapy, etc. I told them to stop and leave me alone and stop watching Dr. Phil. Today, the atmosphere is really icy. Am I the jerk? Edited to add an update. You're all right. Poor A had no idea at all. So I've dropped her a line on her LinkedIn. It's the only contact details I have for her, and apologized for my reaction. I explained why and said that it's no reflection on her at all, that she didn't deserve that. Second update. I just heard back from A on LinkedIn. She said that I have nothing to apologize for. She totally understands. And she said that she's absolutely livid with us. I replied back, thanking her for her understanding, and I have no idea why, but I invited her for coffee so we could catch up properly. I wasn't expecting to do that, but I did. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. S put OP in a really uncomfortable situation. Don't set people up on dates who you know don't want to be on dates, and then don't be like, oh, yeah, I'm not even going to tell you anything. You just have to find out from this other person that this is actually a setup.
Yeah, I think that this was really not cool of S to have done that. They put A and you into a really awkward position, and I can't blame you for walking out on the date, but certainly that's just kind of a poor... It's not good to poor A, of course. Like, she doesn't deserve... She didn't know any better. She thought she was going on a date with someone, and then it turns out that she isn't. So I know a lot of people put a lot of time and effort into getting ready for a date, and so it's just kind of bad that she kind of wasted her time in that respect.
Yeah, but it seems like in the update, it's good that OP was able to talk things out with A, and it was just a bad situation all around for both OP and A, and so I'm gonna say that S is a giant jerk for meddling where she doesn't belong. Like, if your friends don't want to be set up, don't set them up. Not everyone needs a relationship.
Exactly. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for telling my son that he needs to be 100% vegan while living in our home? I'm a 64-year-old male, and my family has been vegan for the past 20 years. Being vegan, to us, is not just a diet, but a strong ethical stance. As a result, I'm not comfortable with non-vegan food being eaten in my house, and I expect everyone who lives here to follow this rule. My daughter, a 26-year-old female, and who moved out a year ago, I recently learned is no longer vegan. She had a change of heart, but only started to eat meat once she moved out onto her own and into her own place. The other day, however, she told us that our son, a 20-year-old male, who still lives at home, recently told her that he sometimes buys non-vegan cookies and eats them. According to both of them, he only eats them when he's at school and he never brings them inside our house. But even though he's eating non-vegan food items outside the house, one, I'm not comfortable with that food being defecated into my toilets, and two, likewise, my son is in college and doesn't earn his own money yet. At the end of the day, he's using our money to buy non-vegan treats. I feel like I have a right to ask him to be 100% vegan while he's living in our home. To my daughter, this is crazy and unfair, but I think that this still clearly impacts our home and our money. Am I the jerk for requiring my son to stop eating non-vegan foods? Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Yeah, OP, you are a major jerk here. Also, it doesn't sound like this is much of a family value as it is a you and potentially your wife value. When you're trying to extrapolate and be like, oh, my family has a strong moral conviction, you have a strong moral conviction. And that's okay. But it's not your entire family who shares this. Clearly, your children don't.
Yeah.
And I think this has reached a level of absurdity. Like, first of all, once you give people money, it's no longer yours to dictate what they do with it. And then, like, how are you even supposed to police this? Like, are you going to go put spy cameras on him while he's at school to make sure he doesn't sneak a cookie?
You know, I think that this has reached a level of fanaticism. Certainly it's one thing to have an ethical stance. I really think that that's fine. It's important to have ethical stances. It's important to know where you stand on matters ethically. And I mean, certainly there are certain ethical standpoints that shouldn't be imposed on people, that people should have a free will to choose, like things that of course aren't causing harm to other people. And in this particular case, he's not causing harm to you. He's not causing harm to your very vegan toilet, for instance, right?
And does OP never invite non-vegans into their home? Like, have you ever had a family member who's not vegan in your home for any period of time?
Yeah, and so it doesn't make much sense because I'm pretty sure that he's had non-vegans in his home, unless he's so, like, death-gripped to this stance that he doesn't have any friends who aren't vegan.
Like, it just seems like this is a measure to control his son because he's upset that his son is not as committed to veganism as he is.
Yeah.
And you just have to recognize at the end of the day, OP, your son is his own person and nothing he is doing hurts you in any way. I mean, he's not even bringing non-vegan food into the house, which is also his house. Like, I would say he's respecting your rules to a perfectly reasonable degree, but you cannot expect him to never eat things that aren't vegan when he's outside up under your roof.
Yeah, and then there's also medical reasons for people to not be vegans, right? So there isn't always a clear moral or ethical line in something like that, because there are some people who can't eat vegan food, right?
You can't eat exclusively vegan.
You can't exclusively eat vegan food, right? And that's fine, that makes sense. And I mean, at the end of the day, really, this needs to be a personal type of decision that somebody has to make and reflect on whether or not this is a right decision for them.
And I also feel like this is the wrong way. Like, anytime people try and dictate their beliefs instead of trying to just show them as one option, there's a good chance it's going to backfire because of the whole forbidden fruit thing. Like, it's important that people be able to explore different options when it comes to food and other, like, religious teachings and stuff like that. If you're just like, you have to do this, and I'm going to try and control you to make this happen, if your way is the morally right way in this person's eyes, they're going to do it because it resonates with them. You shouldn't be trying to rule people, like, with an iron fist.
Yeah. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not letting my brother hide behind the dead wife card anymore? I'm a 30-year-old female, and my brother, a 34-year-old male, lost his wife a year ago. They have 3 girls, 12, 5, and 3. My brother was definitely one of those husbands who worked, came home, played with kids, but that was it. His wife ran the show. Chores, raising the kids, making sure that they went to school and activities, all the cooking, etc. all on top of her own full-time job. She died quite unexpectedly, and to say the least, he was at a loss, and that is an understatement. So I stepped in to help. Some may call what I did enabling, but I think that it was for my nieces, and I didn't want them to suffer. They do their part around the house, what's appropriate for their ages obviously. I've been trying to teach my brother to do the rest. I understand that he just suffered a massive loss, and a lot of his inability to learn I put on grief. But as we close in on 14 months since her passing, he definitely has just used me to replace his wife in all ways domestic. I've tried talking to him about it before, and he just pulled the "my wife just died" card again on me, and I just let it slide. My final straw came when I went on a work trip. I came back to chaos. The house was clean because the girls did more than their fair share. Obviously, they should have had chores, but by his own admission, he did nothing despite having the time to do so. The oldest told me that she was the one making sure that the little girls went to school and daycare. She's done all the cooking. She had to give up on her end of the year dance because my brother asked her to watch the girls so he could go out with friends. I had a come to Jesus meeting, and I told him that he needs to get his stuff together. I'm doing one more tutorial day, and that's it. He needs to either hire a housekeeper or a nanny. He can afford both if he's not interested in doing his share of the chores or taking the kids anywheres. He needs to get a calendar to remind him when stuff needs to get done. I said it was this or the girls would be coming and staying with me until he gets his act together. He started the whole "I just lost my wife" stuff again, and I pointed out that the girls just lost their mother, and now it's like that they lost their dad too. He asked if I was calling him a bad dad, and I didn't answer, which made him mad. He said, as family, I should be willing to help. I said that I'd help, but I'm not his wife. Now the girls are staying with me. My family says that I should have just kept helping him versus berating him, and that I am heartless for not being empathetic enough. They added that it's my fault that the girls are missing their dad because I gave him an ultimatum, and if I just kept helping, they would see him. It seems no one is on my side. Am I the jerk? Edit. The comments telling me to send those girls back and let CPS get involved if he doesn't get better will not be entertained. That's not punishing him, it's hurting the girls. Save your fingers from typing that one out. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Absolutely not the jerk. I mean, I understand that losing someone close to you is tough, but he is using his grief to get out of having any responsibility.
Yeah.
The girls just lost their mother, and they are running the entire... A 12-year-old is running the household.
Yeah.
She is being parentified by him. She had to cook meals for a grown man because he's grieving. She had to watch her sisters because he's grieving.
Yeah.
Like, have the girls even had a chance to grieve?
No, it doesn't even sound like it, and this is really unfortunate, and I think OP's right to take the girls away in this case. It's been 14 months, and certainly I could understand OP helping out for a month or 2 or 3, and 14 months is far more generous than I think most people would be willing to help out.
Yeah, and all those other family members who are saying that OP should have just kept helping, why don't they step in and be his live-in housekeeper for a little while and see how it goes?
Exactly. OP, I don't think that you're wrong here. I think that you're trying to provide these girls with stability. If you're going to do all the work of raising the girls anyways, they may as well live with you, so that way at least you don't have another mess to clean up behind them, right?
Right. I mean, they don't have a parent as it currently stands in him. That you are basically the only parent they have now.
Yeah. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she's got a joke.
Did you hear about the person who got paid to sleep?
I did hear about the person who got paid to sleep. This was actually a really interesting sleep study, and so what they did is they wanted to see if someone could sleep through massive electrocution. And so they kept zapping the person, and they didn't sleep much. And so they were paid, but it wasn't really to sleep because they were constantly in agony from all the zapping.
Yeah, that's a different one. This person, they said it was their dream job.
It was their dream job.
But they were not getting electrocuted. They were actually sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. If they were actually sleeping and not being zapped a bunch of times, then that probably was a dream job. And I have Mega Mint. You know who wasn't controlling the zaps?
Bernard the Unhinged?
Yeah, Bernard the Unhinged. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior.
And we've made it to almost the end of the week, so congratulations. Thank you to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please have it in the form of an item on a menu for a surprise date.
Here, sir. Would you like your chocolate surprise?
I would like my chocolate surprise.
All right. Well, let's open it up. It's one of those fancy chocolates.
Oh, it's a fancy chocolate. I have a fancy chocolate here.
Surprise! You're on a date.
Oh,
it's like a rose or something. I don't know.
I'm on a date.
Yeah, you're on a date now with me.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
And at the live stream tomorrow,
Oh,
too.
yeah, and the live stream. So here are the details for the live stream. Hopefully we'll see you then.
Bye.
I think that I'm waiting, and I see an old colleague, Egg. Why did I say egg? It's all the hot heat. It's getting to my head. My brain is fried. As I do, I think I'm waiting, and I see an old colleague, Egg.
Their name is Egg now, but we can keep going.
A. I don't know why. I can't say A without saying egg.
How do you spell my name?
Ager. A-G-E-M-B-E-R. It's the new letter of the alphabet, the coolest one.